cross origin resource sharing, or they call it CORS. Today we're going to learn CORS. What is CORS? Well, according to Google, let's check in Google. In Wikipedia, CORS means is a mechanism that allows restricted resources on a web page to be accessed from another domain. Alright, so it has something to do with access of resources from one domain to another. Okay, so it's some kind of security. Okay, so we can restrict the access of resource from one domain to another using this CORS mechanism. Okay, so let's try to show you an example of accessing a simple resource in a Spring Boot. Let's create a very simple REST controller. Let's call it CorsTestController. Okay, then REST controller. Okay, let's create a simple endpoint. Say testCORS. For the sake of demo, I will show you how to restrict. We can call this endpoint can return a simple resource, right? For demo purpose, we will just return a simple string only, dummy string. Okay, instead of returning an HTML or any static resource. Let's say dummy data, whatever, just to demo. So I think by default, since this is a very simple Spring Boot app, I think by default we can access this endpoint, or should I say it a resource. Okay, but then again, when we implement some security like Spring Boot security, when we access this using a mobile app or any other web application app, we might we can restrict the access of this resource using this cross origin security, which is provided by Spring. Okay, but before that, let me show you how to restrict that. Okay, there is an annotation called cross origin provided by the Spring framework. We can specify here in this annotation. We can specify here which domain we allow to access our endpoint, our resource. Okay, so let's try this out. For example, we want to restrict the client or the consumer of our endpoint. We want to restrict to a certain or particular host or port. In this demo, I can only test for local, right? Because this is just local example. So I will let's say we want only port 7771. We only allow this domain, I mean this host and port, we can restrict our consumer or client of our endpoint to this particular host and port only. Okay, we can test that. Let's test this one to show you how it looks. Okay, I have Postman here. Let's call this first. We don't let's first because by the way, this CORS or CORS, cross origin resource sharing security, actually this is applicable only to browser. Okay, because every time the browser uh, call the REST API, the browser actually send this header or automatically. All right, so the browser we cannot control it. Is for security, is an actually contract. So so it's automatically the browser send the origin header to the server endpoint or API when the browser is calling the API. Okay, so this for demo purpose, I will using Postman, I will send this header so we can test whether our cross origin security is working or not. Okay, so now the endpoint is testCORS. Okay, let's access that endpoint. testCORS. The method is get. Let's try let's pick the origin, right? But as I said, in real scenario, we do not manually send this header. It's the browser's job to send the real origin. But for demo purpose, I will try to pick it. I will send this origin header just to test our implementation of cross origin and implementation. Okay, so now I will try to use localhost 8080 since our application is running on this port 8080. Okay, let's see how the Spring handle this request. Okay, oh, it allows. Wait, something is wrong here. By right, our Spring Boot app should not allow this because we specify here localhost 771 only. Let's check. Maybe something is wrong with our syntax. At cross origin is equal to HTTP code. Oh, something is wrong with our URL. It should be like this. Okay, HTTP colon slash localhost. Okay, localhost, then the port. So we try again. HTTP colon slash localhost. Let's restart the app. I think also since this is running this is since uh, cross origin resource sharing has something to do with accessing resource from one domain to another. I think it allows the request, it allows to access the request if it's coming from the same host, which in our case is 8080, right? So let's try to use other port. Let's say 8081. Okay, we will not use the same port itself, but otherwise it's no longer cross, uh, it's the same domain, right? So we want to test the request from another domain, so that's why we use different port. Okay, so 8081, let's see what how the Spring Boot security handle this request. Send the request. Okay, all right, so now it's working. See, the error is invalid course request. This is thrown by the Spring framework. Okay, because of this annotation. This is our implementation of this CORS security. Okay, so now let's try to use other let's try to pass different domain. Let's say, because since we allow 7771, okay, let's try if we can use that one. Okay, see, we can get the data, right? So it only allows 771 actually, because we configure it like that. If we try other port, like let's say 772, we will always get this error, invalid course request. Even 880 8888, right? So the only possible port is 771 only, right? 770. See, but if we change it to 771, we can access the resource. So this is the only valid port, and of course that's 8080, which is the domain itself, which we don't want to test because it's the same domain, right? We only want to test other domain. Okay, that's why so based on our configuration, it only allows 771. Other port, it will throw errors. Okay, so I think that's all, guys. I hope you find this simple tutorial useful. This in this video I only demonstrate you how the cross origin resource sharing works, okay, in Spring Boot. Again, thank you very much for watching this video. I will see you again, guys. Thank you. Bye bye.